I'm not Mitch Connor. I'm so not surprised I woke up to this.
Reports of multiple bomb threats against aircraft in the air at this very moment. One of the We have reports of multiple bomb threats against aircraft in the air at this very moment. One of them, we are told, is on the ground in Philadelphia. I'm breaking from the script about the TSA, but here's why, Joe. This is kind of similar to what we had, you may recall, last week, in which we had multiple reports of bomb threats phoned in affecting aircraft nationwide, and the caller was saying at the time that there was a chemical weapon on board. That, as a result, really affected planes that were inbound into the United States. Multiple planes, you may recall, last week. We've now got at least 4 to 5 other aircraft at this very moment that are being affected by this report of new threats phoned into aircraft. One of them is in Philadelphia, one of them is headed to San Francisco, and 2 more. Pardon me while I do this live on the air. So that is the breaking news we're bringing you before anybody else. And TSA and Homeland Security and the FBI are on this case, trying to determine whether this is anything to be overtly concerned about. You may recall last week they determined that these were all fake claims. And
Oh, last week they determined them to be fake claims. So what makes you think they're not going to be fake this time? I mean, I'm sure you're aware that the Patriot Act, portions of the Patriot Act have not been renewed, and it stops NSA spying, even though they're still going to spy. Hell, they've been spying well before the Patriot Act and 9/11 and all that. But see, this is just manufactured consent at its finest. It really is. You look at, wait till they start talking about the markets and stuff. But let's go on.
There was some speculation that there may be some sort of an ISIS lone wolf involved in all of this.
And as we'll see in the article, they don't offer any proof for that, or they don't even mention, like, oh, it was a guy with an Arabic accent or something like that, which would likely be a indicator if it actually were. But remember, they were fake last week, so why are they going to be real this week?
But they have not yet determined who was responsible for those, and now we have more planes being affected today. The other major story of the day this morning, Joe, is that the head of the TSA, the acting head, is out. Melvin Caraway, an 11-year veteran, is out after the scathing report yesterday that came out, which indicated that these internal teams, red teams from Homeland Security that are supposed to probe TSA checkpoints to look for any vulnerabilities, were able to smuggle mock weapons by the screeners 95% of the time. 95% of the time. As a result of that, the Homeland Security chief is ordering immediate changes at the TSA. The acting head of the TSA is out. We're still waiting for Senate confirmation on a new head of the TSA. That is a vice admiral from the Coast Guard we're expecting that will eventually take over if he's confirmed.
This TSA thing is nothing new at all. This has been going on for a while, or at least according to news reports, that the FBI has been sneaking mock bombs for years, and they've been failing and failing and failing. The metal detectors work better than those naked body scanners. But if you remember the underwear bomber in Detroit a few years ago, Christmas Day and all that, and yeah, that was a fake story. Not fake, but manufactured consent once again, like that's what ushered in the naked body scanners. And yet you can sneak stuff through anyways. I forget the name of the guy who was able to do that and got harassed by the TSA and all that. And anyway.
But this all now, of course, dovetails rather nicely today on this day when we are waiting for a new TSA chief, in which the day in which the TSA is under fire for failing to find these mock explosives. And now we have more planes affected today by threats that have been called in to various airlines. Joe?
Not a good dovetail at all, Tom, that on the same day we hear they fail 95%, and then we hear of potential bomb threats. The futures have been a little skittish all morning. They had recovered from down 90 to down about 10. Then right when you started talking, Tom, they were back down 75 or 80 there.
Now, we're right there with what he says. That's a subtle indication that of what affects the markets, okay? Things like this affect the markets. I can't remember the name of it. There's like a group that, aside from the computer-controlled trading that is pretty much dominating the stock market, for a long time there's been basically like a group of people, like a panel, that decides a lot of things about the stock markets, okay? And I forget what they're called, I'm sorry. Drives me nuts too. But, you ever hear them talk about like confidence in the markets, okay? They're speaking of basically that panel's reaction to things like this, okay? This is such a funny thing about the game, whatever you want to call it.
We're now down to 53. So just as you said, you're bringing it to us first, and it immediately affected
Joe?
things. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to stress.
See, as you said, it immediately affected things, okay? This whole friggin' thing is a damn scam. The economy, the NSA, the TSA, the war on terror, it's a bunch of crap.
Though, we have had these reports over the past couple of weeks, and I'll say this one more time, in which there were multiple bomb threats called in for incoming planes coming from out of the United States into the United States, and every one of those was found to be fake. So now today, more of these.
Yep. Everyone was found to be fake. It's unbelievable, huh? So then in connection with this, found this little thing. FBI behind mysterious surveillance aircraft over U.S. cities. The FBI is operating a small air force with scores of low-flying planes across the country carrying video and, at times, cell phone surveillance technology, all hidden behind fictitious companies that are fronts for the government, the Associated Press has learned. They actually have a document for it, too. I'll leave the link for it if you want to check it out. That's the first page. It's about corporations and such. Front corporations, which this is nothing new. CIA does the same thing. Let me make this bigger. Plane surveillance equipment is generally used without a judge's approval, and the FBI said the flights are used for specific ongoing investigations. In a recent 30-day period, the agency flew above more than 30 cities in 11 states across the country, an AP review found. Aerial surveillance represents a changing frontier for law enforcement, providing what the government maintains is an important tool in criminal terrorism or intelligence probes. But the program raises questions about whether there should be updated policies protecting civil liberties as new technologies pose intrusive opportunities for government spying. U.S. law enforcement officials confirmed for the first time that the wide-scale use of the aircraft, which the AP traced to at least 13 fake companies, such as FVX Research, KQM Aviation, NBR Aviation, and PXW Services. Even basic aspects of the program are withheld from the public in censored versions of official reports from the Justice Department Inspector General. The FBI's aviation program is not secret, spokesman Christopher Allen said in a statement. Specific aircraft and their capabilities are protected for operational security purposes. Allen added that the FBI's planes are not equipped, designed, or used for bulk collection activities or mass surveillance. But the planes can capture video of unrelated criminal activity on the ground that could be handed over for prosecutions. So that is being equipped, designed, and used for bulk surveillance, because as it goes on, some of the aircraft can also be equipped with technology that can identify thousands of people below through the cell phones they carry, even if they're not making a call or in public. Officials said that practice, which mimics cell towers and gets phones to reveal basic subscriber information, is rare. But if the planes can do that, why don't they do that? Why is it rare? As usual, officials talking out their ass. Once again, though, organizing all of that information is not quite as easy as one may think. Now, don't think that I'm trying to, say like, oh, the NSA, the FBI are spying on you, okay? Because, like I just said, it's not as easy as one might think to organize all of that data. And yeah, they eventually want to do that, you know. They want to be able to do that. But I don't see how they're able to do that. I don't think people like me would be here doing what I'm doing. And there's a lot of people like me out there. And some more right, some more wrong, maybe. But nonetheless, you know, the government doesn't like dissension all that much. Yeah, it goes through the technique of manufactured consent, because that, well, it proves more effective than by force, especially in a nation like this one with so many guns. But I'm pretty convinced that most of the stuff that the media publishes about the NSA is allowed to be out there to instill fear in the public. They instill fear in the public about, you know, oh, now that we don't pass the Patriot Act provisions, oh, we're getting bomb threats. We're getting bomb threats. Even though some of them have turned out to be fake, for sure. To this with, you know, oh, the FBI is spying on you. Be scared of the FBI. Like, that's one part of it, you know. Yeah, they'll have, they know that, you know, there's audience to appeal to. So they need to say things like, but the planes can capture video of unrelated criminal activity, you know. Anyway, I'll leave links. You can read the rest of your article at your leisure. Have a nice day.